Meeting of council for September 11th to order at 3:02 p.m. Ask for a motion from Councillor Nychuk that council adopt the agenda for this regular council meeting September 11th as presented.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Consent agenda. Ask for a motion from Councillor Walsh that an omnibus motion adopts the following in accordance with council's procedure bylaw. August 14th, regular council meeting minutes as presented and the strategic priorities chart.
You have my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Any public comments on agenda items before we get started? See none, hear none. Montrose Phase 3 Securities. We've got Clark, Tara, and Stephanie here, so come on up to the front, please.
Good. Okay. Good afternoon, Your Worship, councillors, and hello to our friends in administration. My name is Clark Piata. I am Dream Senior Manager of Development, and with me today are Tara Steele, Dream's GM of Land, and Stephanie Kuntz, VP of Security Practice at Marsh. We are here today to speak about development securities, both in general and specific to Montrose Phase 3. The town's security policy allows a developer to ask council to amend its security requirements. I would like to lead with that ask. 1, that council reduce the Montrose Phase 3 securities. 2, that Dream be allowed to post a development bond to replace the current letter of credit. And 3, that the town consider amendments to its current security policy. A little bit about Dream. We are a large, well-funded real estate company, successfully delivering development projects all across Canada, and we are a long-time investor in High River. As you can see, Dream has done a lot in Montrose. We've invested in the town through the Great Recession, through a flood, cheap oil, and a pandemic, and we continue to invest today. And with 112 acres left in Montrose, we still have lots to do. Just for a little wayfinding, before us is a map of Montrose. You will see Phase 3 shown in the middle in yellow, right along the 3rd Street extension. Zooming in on this phase, Phase 3 introduces 53 new lots supporting a range of housing products. Development construction is well underway. 3rd Street will be paved this October, and the balance of construction will follow in 2024. Dream has posted a $4.5 million letter of credit as security for this project. For reference, Montrose Phase 3 is Dream's smallest active phase in Alberta, and yet it carries the highest letter of credit by a factor of 12. In fact, outside of Dream's work in Quebec, Montrose Phase 3 carries the highest letter of credit for any of our projects in Canada. Quickly, a little bit about development securities. When a developer subdivides its land, it has to build the associated infrastructure and enter into a development agreement to do so. Municipalities are empowered by the MGA to require securities and are able to determine both their value and their format. Dream's position is that securities should reflect the municipality's actual risk and should balance the needs of the town and those of the developer. Talking about municipal risk. Risk is, of course, a function of the likelihood of an outcome and the severity of that outcome. Some of the things that impact the likelihood that a DA obligation goes unfilled would be the developer's track record, the developer's access to capital, and frankly, the profitability of that project. Some of the items that impact the severity of the risk is the type of infrastructure, whether it's major and impacts multiple residents, or more typically, whether it's minor and really only impacts the new lots being created. And of course, if necessary, the municipality's ability to draw on a security impacts the outcome. Securities have an impact on the developer because they have a carrying cost and they impact the access to capital. Factors affecting this are the type of security. Letters of credit, for example, tie up credit capacity while bonds do not. Regarding the cost, letters of credit have twice the carrying cost of bonds. Beyond the type of security, obviously the value and how quickly it can be reduced are of interest to the developer. This table compares letters of credit and development bonds in a number of metrics. You will note that in terms of protecting the municipality, Marsh's development bond offers the same protections as an LOC, only with less burden to the developer. This slide is simply a reminder that irrespective of securities, developers tend to be very motivated to fulfill their development obligations and get to selling their lots. As a part of this discussion, we do want to introduce the concept of development tiers. Tiering is a means of tying security requirements to a developer's performance. Proven low-risk developers would have lesser security requirements. Unproven developers, or those who have failed to fulfill DA obligations in the past, would have to post higher securities. Tiering offers a way to align the security of ask with the actual risk to the municipality. It has the added benefit of incentivizing long-term investment in a community. So, following this discussion about development securities, the question really is, why specifically are we requesting an amendment to the Montrose Phase 3 securities and to the town's security policy as a whole? This table compares the securities that Dream would have to post for Montrose 3 as a top-tier developer throughout the Calgary region. You will note that the security required in High River is 3 times that of the second highest municipality. However, that town accepts bonds. When we consider those municipalities that, like High River, only accept letters of credit, High River's security requirement is 6 times more than the second highest in the region. So with that, I would like to come full circle and reiterate our ask. 1, that the town reduce the value of Montrose 3 development securities to beat, or at least to match, the second highest in the region. 2, that the town allow Dream to post a development bond to replace the existing LOC. And 3, that the town review its current security policy and consider implementing a tiering system, accepting development bonds, and reducing the overall security requirements to better align with the other municipalities in the region. We appreciate you having us here today. My colleagues and I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. And following the initial questions, Stephanie from Marsh will do a presentation specific to bonds. Thank you.
Thanks, Clark. Well done. I think we can probably all agree that we'll get this brought back to us for consideration on all the points that you've made for sure. But any questions right now from council? Did a great job of putting
Very
it
well.
in front
Thank
of
you,
us.
Your Worship.
Appreciate it.
Stephanie will come up.
Thanks, Steph.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, councillors. Thank you for having me here. My name is Stephanie Kuntz, and I'm with Marsh, and I'm here to present specifically on the topic of development bonds. Clark did a great job of speaking to most of the background, so today I will focus my presentation on the technical components behind the bond wording. Okay, thanks. Okay, just really quickly on some of the background. Many Canadian municipalities accepted only letters of credit as security for a long time, actually. And it wasn't until about 5 years ago that we started with the City of Calgary to educate them on bonds and work with their planning and development, finance and legal teams to understand bonds and how bonds can still adequately protect them, just like letters of credit. So we were able to craft a custom bond wording that mirrors all the technical components of letters of credit without some of the bank-related administrative burdens, such as additional carrying costs and balance sheet impact. So some of this was already spoken about. So here, this is really the meat of the presentation that I think will be really important to consider. These are the technical components embedded within the bond wording itself. First and foremost, this bond wording is a pay-on-demand liquid wording. It says expressly within the bond language that there is no onus on the municipality to prove default. The municipality has sole and absolute discretion to declare that a default has occurred and to file a bond claim. Once a claim has been filed, the surety company has no right to defend against the bond claim. This is also expressly written within the bond language. The surety cannot negotiate a lesser settlement, try to defend against the claim, or deny the claim. The only recourse they can have is to provide the payment that a municipality has demanded. And they are required to provide that payment within 7 days, and that's written into the bond as well. The bond is also irrevocable in that no clauses within can be changed without the express written approval of all parties involved. The bond is also evergreen in that it automatically renews per annum. It also includes a notice of cancellation provision. And that means if there's some reason that the surety company wishes to cancel the bond, they're required to provide the municipality with registered letter notice, giving 90-day notice period. And within that time frame, the developer will be obligated to provide the municipality with a replacement form of security, either a new bond from a different bonding company or a letter of credit from a bank. The bond also allows for partial drawdowns in the event where there has just been a minor deficiency that you would like to submit a bond claim for, and then the remaining bond amount stays in play. The bond amount may also be reduced, but only with written approval from the municipality or a CCC, a construction completion certificate. This chart here is really a reiteration of my previous slide, but this is a good visual representation of how letters of credit and development bonds all satisfy the same key technical features. And a little bit about surety companies that issue these bonds. They are heavily regulated by the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, which is the same governing body that regulates banks and insurance companies. There are a lot of things that they really do a deep dive on, but most importantly, there are minimum capitalization requirements involved. And this is overseen on a regular basis to ensure that the surety company continues to have enough access to capital and liquidity to pay out any bond claims that may come about. We do recommend that municipalities stipulate that the surety bonds must come from surety companies that have a high AM Best rating. AM Best is the external credit rating agency that is most often used in the surety and insurance industry. And so if the company has an AM Best rating of A- or greater, they are considered an excellent credit risk. In terms of the surety underwriting process, the surety will actually do a thorough review of the developer's credit quality, their history and track record, as well as project-specific details. And in this sense, the surety actually does a lot more legwork and analysis than a bank would. A bank would issue the letter of credit just with enough of balance sheet assets that they could get a guarantee from. So in summary, the benefits, improves liquidity for developers because the bonds are off balance sheet. They are guaranteed by a corporate guarantee and not by cash that's held stagnant by the bank. Any funds that are freed up by the use of bonds in lieu of a letter of credit can be used to fund the project itself or for further investment in the community. The benefit to the municipality is that you get the same level of financial assurance as you would with a letter of credit, but you also get the additional layer of assurance because a surety company has done a full pre-qualification of the developer. I've got a few pages of this chart here that just to demonstrate the number of municipalities that have been accepting bonds. So I won't go through all of them one by one, but just wanted to demonstrate that there's been a lot of traction across the country with this initiative. And that brings my presentation to close. Are there any
Perfect.
questions?
Thanks, Stephanie. Do we have copies of both? We're good? You guys will bring this back for recommendation and discussion? Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Well done. Move on to Good Neighbor bylaw. Cody?
Afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm before you today to present a amending bylaw to the Good Neighbor bylaw. In recent, probably the last month, we've been experiencing some formal complaints from community neighborhoods in the Northwest, Southeast, and some in the Southwest with distribution of flyers with graphic images on them. Some have gone as far as to have children open the flyers and pamphlets up, which has caused some other concerns. So after this was brought forward to us through a complaint line and multiple other avenues, we did some research into it. The City of Calgary Community Standards bylaw was recently changed in late last year, and Okotoks just presented their community standards bylaw, which incorporates a lot of the information regarding graphic images. So it doesn't stop the individuals from handing out their information packages. However, it does ensure that they are concealed in an envelope that is written on there with explicit language saying that the materials inside does contain a graphic image. So the challenge with the Good Neighbor bylaw is there was a gap there. We didn't have anything other than flyers identified. So this is the opportunity for us to now incorporate these flyers into the Good Neighbor bylaw, with the intention of that Good Neighbor bylaw coming back to council probably within the next 6 months with some other amendments that we do need to make. So it'll be including all this into it. So any questions or concerns?
Questions, council? I think we all brought this up. We were all talking about it when they
Yeah, I'm sure you guys all got
started showing up
emails.
on our doors, so that's
Absolutely.
exactly what we asked for, so. Got my computer blocking this thing out here. No questions from council, so I'll ask Councillor Smith to council give first and second reading, as well as unanimous consent to proceed with the third and final reading for bylaw 4619-2023, being the amending Good Neighbor bylaw.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. And I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Barton that council give third reading to bylaw 4619-2023, being the amending Good Neighbor bylaw.
You have my motion, Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Cody. Well done. Contract award for plow truck and watering skid. Colton?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm here to ask for you guys to award the contract for single axle plow truck and watering skid for Public Works Department. We believe that the contract should go to the James Farmer Alamo Group Snow and Ice team. They gave us 2 offers, and we would like to go ahead with their first offer. We've got 8 different offers. They ranged from about $300,000 to $480,000. This one is about $400,000, which is $100,000 more than we thought it was going to be. You guys have any questions?
Somebody will. Chris told us to go gentle on you, Colton, with it being your first time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
it ain't gonna happen.
I've come prepared.
Counselor Nychuk.
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Oh, well, the first question was I guess for me, the obvious one about the $100,000 difference from what you guys thought it might hit at. That's question one. If you can give some context there, I'm sure it's going to be inflationary and all kinds of things like that, because that's generally the way pricing is going nowadays in our world. Then the other question was contingency. I'm not quite sure on a quote on a vehicle how there's a contingency piece behind it. That word always scares me, doesn't it, Riley? Those are my two questions: the difference in price, and then why we have a contingency on seemingly a truck item. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, so inflation, as you said, would be the main cost. The watering skid as well, that cost $40,000, and in the 300,000, we just came up short on how much everything was going to be. I have the breakdown of each price. The truck is 310, the watering skid is 40, the belly plow and sander is 51,000, and then that comes to just under 4. So with our previous purchases for plows, sanders, all that kind of stuff, we were also surprised with the price. This is the second cheapest price of all the offers that we got. So out of the 8, this one is the second lowest, and the lowest offer that we did receive didn't meet spec on numerous applications. So that truck just will not meet the town's needs.
And this is a truck that's going to replace the existing.
Yeah, it will replace T61.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an identical unit,
Not an addition.
just newer. No, it is not an additional unit. So we'll be selling 61 as soon as we get this truck.
What's 61 worth?
What's 61 worth?
Grand?
It's hard to say at auction right now, but yeah, probably 70.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from council? Councillor Smith?
Yeah, the contingency one.
Oh, contingency, sorry.
I would have to get back to you on that. Yeah.
Riley's coming in.
Okay.
There's contingency because engineering was involved.
Oh. That's honest.
No, the prices are estimates. When we go to tender, we're not sure what the market may do, or if we haven't spec'd in the estimate quite right. Sometimes we are a little loose around specifications, and until we refine it, we don't have exact costs. So similar to a construction project, you don't know what you're going to get until that actual those bids come in, and the contingency gives us some wiggle room in case it doesn't come in as expected.
But this is a quote, right, from a vendor, the price we have now.
Correct.
That's not an estimate from them.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. My mistake.
Because it still reads in there the price about contingency. So the contingency was prior to you guys finalizing a choice and coming to council? Is that? It's just my,
So the
it's
three,
my illiterate reading of the recommendation to council.
though that's fair. You're right. There is no contingency. So on the 399,662,
That's it.
that is it, because it is actually a formal
it's a formal
bid.
quote.
So that's what we will pay. It does not include in contingency, and we don't anticipate needing contingency on that.
Good. I didn't think we were digging a hole that we didn't know what was.
No.
underneath something,
So we
good.
did on the overall budget. So the 860, does contain a contingency because of that. We're not quite
Okay.
sure where some of this might lie.
Thanks, Riley. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Councillor Smith?
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. I'm curious to know, because we currently have additional funds in the budget for other fleet replacement items, and that there is a schedule that was presented to us here. Have we prioritized those remaining items? Do we anticipate realizing their acquisition by the end of the year, given that it's already September? Where do we think that piece is going to land? Because there's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 8 maybe items remaining?
Yeah, so we will do that in a priority order, and the last truck that we will purchase would actually be the mechanic service truck, because we've analyzed all the equipment that we have right now. That piece of equipment is in the best shape that we have, and it was allocated for about $70,000. So we would be able to save that if we don't have time to get the RFP out in time.
Okay. Okay. Just always mindful that it's September and December's here before we know it. Okay.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Nychuk, the council direct administration, to award the purchase contract to James Farmer Elmo Group Snow and Ice Team Number 1 in the amount of $399,662.65, not including GST, and the council authorize the mayor and CAO to execute the contract for James Farmer Elmo Group Snow and Ice Team Number 1. Trying to make an acronym out of that, but bit of a mess.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Well done, Colton.
Thank you very much.
You're 1 for 1. Good luck on number 2. BSRC Curling Lounge, Nancy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration has worked over the past year to transition the Highwood Curling Club from a leasee to a user group. We have worked collaboratively to purchase assets, set rates, and ensure the success of the sport and the club at the BSRC. The last remaining item is compensation for the curling lounge renovations. The lounge renovations were undertaken by the club without consent or approval from the town. Although the lounge is not required to participate in the sport of curling, it is a part of the social aspect. The club is seeking $48,000 for renovation costs and an additional $9,000 for assets associated with the lounge, for a total of $57,000. Administration has negotiated a reduced rate of $14,000 for the renovation costs and $9,000 for the assets, for a total of $23,000. Administration is proposing that the $23,000 be applied to the Highwood Curling Club user fees for the upcoming season to finalize all monies owed to the club. If approved by council, administration will notify the club, finalize the asset transfer, and apply a $23,000 credit to the club's account. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Nancy. No questions from council. Councillor Smith?
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass.
Ooh, I dreaded the
My curiosity is, who takes over the oversight of the lounge following the evening activities that happen there?
So the club will maintain the liquor license. So they will be in control while alcohol is being served. The club will still adhere to the hours of the BSRC, so it will be under control of the BSRC, ultimately, I guess.
So it's partnership, but
Correct.
redefined.
Correct, yes. So once we purchase the assets, anyone who wanted to host an event up there would be able to do so through a special event alcohol license if they wanted to utilize the bar.
Okay. But does the club maintain then the other pieces that go with serving and
If
pro serve and?
for them, for their club use, yes, correct. They would maintain their bartenders. They will supply the product. They'll store the product there during the season, but they won't be storing off-season there. But yes, the product and bartenders and license will be the responsibility of the club.
Okay, thank you.
No further questions. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Jones that council approve the funding of $23,000 to purchase $9,000 in hard assets and $14,000 for renovation costs to be applied to user fees for the Highwood Curling Club.
I'll give you that motion, Mayor Snodgrass.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. Well done on getting that one finished up. Flood impacted debris cleanup project. Diana?
afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present the flood impact debris cleanup project. This project includes 4 areas of land in town, which is the Wallaceville land, the gravel land, the Rio Vista lands, and the Beechwood lands. As you may have known, the works that involves for this project is to complete the naturalization of the above lands just mentioned, including the removal of overhead power lines crossing the Highwood River into Wallaceville, removal of debris, waste pipes, garbage in the area, and formalizing parking area for residents to use, and various wildlife enhancement. In order for us to complete this project, we tendered, and this tender was closed on August 24th. We received 2 submissions, ranging from $655,000 to $898,000. At this time, we are requesting that this project be awarded to Wire Construction. And with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Thanks, Diana. All I can say is finally. It's been a long time coming, Riley. And that's just one of my questions. Is it just because we have ownership of this land now that we can access this? Like the garbage bins are still in the river over by Gavels and Wallaceville, et cetera? Is that it, or is it an AEP thing? Doesn't matter. As long as it gets done, I don't really care. No, we're gonna be here too long now.
My understanding is that the grant ends by the end of 2024, and we need to utilize the funds.
Okay.
And we have a number of projects in there, and this one we need to get going on.
Okay. But we do have access to the river to get the garbage cans out. I might get you to come up now, but from AEP, correct? Like, we're not gonna come back and say, oh, well, we still can't get the garbage cans because we missed the fish window.
I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
Sorry.
We can get back to you on
Can
that
we,
one.
can we just, I want to make sure that if we're going in and being able to do this, let's be done with it, because the Wallaceville garbage is still there in the river, and the bins are still at Gavels, right?
Yes.
Make sure, and I don't know if it's Wire that gets that application to AEP to be able to get in there and get that stuff out, but it'd be nice to be done with that. Because cleaning up the mounds and stuff at Gavel, that stuff's easy, and the Wallaceville power lines and the restricting that's easy stuff. It's the
the fencing
in-river
and the
stuff
rocks
that's
and
always been the hang-up that we
correct.
they will
Correct.
not let us get in there to do that. Okay, so if we can get that sorted out as well. Any other questions? Thanks, Riley. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, truly. Any other questions? Ask for a motion from Councillor Walsh that council authorize the award for the flood impacted debris cleanup project for $655,047.85 to Wire Construction and commence immediately with an anticipated completion end date of June 1st, 2024, and the council authorize an amendment to the 2023 capital budget flood impacted debris cleanup project from $583,050 to $882,837, funded from renewal grants, and that council authorized the CAO to execute the contract with Wire Construction.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Well done. Thanks, Diana. If we can just look into making sure we can get into that river.
Will do.
Thank you. Any councillor reports? Any reports from your board and committees? Board and committee minutes, the Museum of the Highwood minutes are attached. Any public comments on agenda items? Yes, ma'am. If you could come forward, please, and give us your name.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is Bonnie Boomer. I was wondering what you are doing over on Country Drive High with the four-way stop that you've put in there. I've recently done a quick petition. I've so far got 360 signatures on it that are against it. I've gone door to door. Not one person is for what's over there. And I'd like to know what it is that your plans are for that. Apparently it was requested by the golf course to put a crosswalk signal in there, is what they have informed me. And they're not very happy with what has gone in there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So 3 things to address. One is the golf course crossing, that they've always wanted us to address that somehow. The discussion was always just a lighted crosswalk where the golf course and us, we all agree that not everybody's going to even use that. So there's not much of a change that would take place even if we did put that in, which might be the only solution we can do at the end of the day anyways. School bus safety, crosswalk safety, pedestrian safety, and traffic speed. Those are the 3 things. So yes, it started with the golf course's request, which has been there for 30 years. But when we do these projects, we always look at what are other opportunities to address other issues on High Country Drive or any road, whenever we do it. So that's why we put in the temporary measures that you see right now, because we're looking at putting, are the bump outs working?
No.
Okay, that's an opinion. We'll figure that out. But
Are the speed bumps
are the
working? No.
Okay.
Do you know what the golf carts are now doing? They're going on the street.
You asked a question. I'm just.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were finished.
So that's what we're doing, is putting these temporary measures. They're in place right now, and they're temporary, while we allow it to work, and we can try different options if something isn't working, et cetera, et cetera. We will see, and that's why we put the survey out, was to gather feedback from everybody. You can give us your petition if you'd like.
I'm not quite finished with it, but so far I have 360.
But at the end of the day, like, council has to look at it. It's our responsibility to look at, what is the best solution for High Country Drive and for this intersection. So that's where we're at today.
I cannot even get I have a 5th wheel and a dually truck. I cannot turn down my street. I have to go all the ways around, come across through the subdivision to come straight across into the gate. I can't make the turn there with my 5th wheel on.
Right.
I watched the fire truck. He did a 3-point turn. He couldn't get around without actually going up in the cement. I've watched the bus drives, or buses, where the speed bumps are. One has to stop on the other side of it, wait for the bus to come through, and then the second one goes through. They both can't pass at the same time. Like, it's really a fiasco that's over there.
2 buses can't go through there at the same time.
Where the bump outs come and there's bumps, one bus sat here while the other one came through, then the other one went through.
Okay.
I've stood there many hours watching this and thinking, and now the golf carts, because there's a cement barrier there, they're just going out and going on the street now.
Yeah, we were just talking in the previous meeting about the issue with the golf carts that are kind of going wherever they want.
My recommendation in this petition that I've voiced to people, and everybody seems to be in agreement, I haven't had one person disagree with this so far,
it doesn't surprise me.
is just a crosswalk light. That would be the simple thing. I don't understand why the survey wasn't done in advance and save our tax dollars instead of putting this in, even if it's only temporary. Why wasn't the survey done in advance to ask the residents what they wanted? I thought I had read in the newspaper that was the option, that there was going to be a crosswalk light put in there.
Yeah, that is one of the options.
Then why was this one done? Why was our tax dollars wasted on this temporary thing
But you're
when
only.
it could have been a crosswalk light.
Because it's our responsibility to look at all options and figure out what the best thing to do is. We felt as though, like this, the temporary blocks that are sitting there can be used, like after we decide whatever we're doing, and if there's permanent bump outs installed, we still have temporary blocks that we can use for other projects and test out other intersections. The school is asking for the same thing. They like what they're seeing. They want the same thing put down closer to the school. There's another issue down there. So that's the thing. Like, I get that you don't like it. That's totally fair, and everybody's got their opinion on it.
But isn't it also your responsibility to survey the residents
Yeah,
of this town
yeah.
before spending tax dollars?
No.
Why not?
Well, because it's not a responsibility that every time we do something, we do a survey. We're putting it there, then people can actually, I don't know how a survey would work, and people could really assess
Well, you
something
could have
without it
gave them the
physically
different
being there.
options, right, from the
Physically
survey?
being there,
So may I
so that they
ask,
could actually physically experience it before they answer a survey. I don't know you'd get a good result out of a survey for that.
may I ask what the result of your survey was that you did?
We don't, it's not over yet. We're still,
When does that end?
we don't know. I think we're getting an update. I asked for an update, at the next committee of the whole meeting
Okay,
in 2 weeks, so the 25th.
of
Downstairs.
September?
Of September, yeah. 25th at 1 o'clock downstairs. Public's welcome to attend, so you can come and we'll get the
Yeah,
feed-
because I have read the comments on your survey, and they were almost what I'm hearing at the door as well.
You've got access to the comments on the town survey?
You can see on where you posted it on that Facebook site, you can see
Oh,
the
that ain't a
comments that people
survey.
have put.
That ain't a survey.
You put it there, it said Mayor Craig Snodgrass.
Yeah, but
And
the
you
comments
posted it
on
there.
the comments on my Facebook are not a survey.
No, but I said,
The
I didn't
survey
say
is-
that,
the
I said I
survey
could
is a
see the
link.
comments where you posted, you
Yeah,
posted on there
I'm quite
that there
aware
was a
of
survey,
what
and I've
comments-
read those comments, and they didn't seem to be
Yeah.
in
and you're-
agreement with you.
Of course, it's on Facebook.
What do you mean by
You're
that?
What I mean by that is you're not going to get a true reflection because other people will not post what they want on there due to retribution from the rest of the Facebook crowd. Sorry,
I think
it's
they're
just the
more
way.
apt to give you a
Sorry, it's
true
just the way-
opinion.
Well, no, it's an opportunity. They can post what they want on there.
Yeah.
The survey results are with the link with the Town of High River survey. That's where those, commenting on my Facebook page, have your discussion with everybody on there. I'll chime in
I haven't
where it
commented, I
is,
just said I read the comments that were
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, but that's not the survey. I just want to make sure that you understand.
No, I
that
said
that's-
where you
that's a
had posted
comment
the
section
survey on your,
Facebook.
on
It's
your
not the
Facebook
survey.
page. I
Yeah.
read those comments,
Yeah.
is what I said,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
But I know going door to door that people are very upset. They don't like it, they don't,
Okay.
a lot of them have RVs, they can't get around, they're concerned about plows coming down. There's a lot of different things that I'm hearing going door to door.
Okay, well, and that's all the feedback that we'll take before we
Okay.
make the final decision on it.
Awesome, thank
Yeah.
you for listening.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other public comments? Council correspondence, National Legion Week. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Smith that council authorize the mayor to sign the High River Legion Week proclamation.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. High River and District Seniors Friendship Center. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Nychuk. The council authorize the mayor to sign the letter of support for the High River and District Seniors Friendship Center's application for the New Horizon Seniors Federal Grant in the amount of $25,000.
Yeah, I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Ratification of McCamey College letter of support. So this was a request from McCamey College that's looking for a government grant to set up a campus in High River for their institution. So we drafted a letter of support and haven't sent it to them yet. They're asking me to hold on to it for the time being before their full package is put together, but regardless, need a motion authorizing myself to supply this letter to them. So ask for a motion from Councillor Jones that council approve the mayor to sign the letter of support to Minister of Advanced Education for the proposed Macamee College High River campus prior to the council meeting.
I'll give you that motion, Mayor Snodgrass.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Church of Jesus Christ food drive invitation. Jody?
So if you saw the invitation that was in the council agenda package, they're asking for and inviting council to participate in the food drive and coordinating delivery and pickup of items. If anyone on council wishes to participate, you can let Sharon or myself know, and then we can get you in connection with Kathy Anderson, who is coordinating that.
Thank you. Chris, the aquatic expansion change room correspondence.
Certainly, thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. Just want to let council know that we're continuing to receive letters regarding concerns about the aquatic expansion and the change rooms. Want to let council know that there is an open house planned for the middle of October. Date is being finalized, but we're looking at the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, as long as we can get the right facility booked for that. Right now, we're pushing for October the 11th, the Wednesday night, at Bob Snodgrass. The 17th is also an option, but we're not sure if we have a facility available for that night or not. So I just want to make that aware, and then we'll be pushing out information to the public as well so that they can attend.
Thank you. Council correspondence for information. Correspondence regarding the Rimrock Tidewater Biodigester is in the agenda, as well as Marigold Library System information. Any questions from council before we close? See none, hear none. Meeting adjourned at 3:49 p.m.